by settling into a comfortable position, allowing your body to be supported exactly as it is, noticing that there is nothing you need to fix or control right now. And as you gently close your eyes, allow yourself to simply arrive in this moment, aware that you are safe, that you are here by choice, and that this time is set aside only for your well-being. And as you breathe naturally, without effort, you may begin to notice that even without trying, the body already knows how to let go a little. Because understanding begins not with forcing calm, but with permission. And today you are giving yourself permission to understand dental fear without judgment, without labels, without any pressure to change it yet. Because fear is not a weakness. It is not a flaw in your character. It is not proof that something is wrong with you. It is simply a learned response, a pattern created by the nervous system in moments when vulnerability, discomfort, or uncertainty were present. And the nervous system learned, in its own way, to protect you. As you continue breathing, you might notice how comforting it is to hear that there is nothing defective about you, nothing broken needing repair, because dental fear does not come from logic or intelligence. It comes from the part of the brain that is designed for survival, the part that reacts before words or reasoning even appear. Imagine now that you are gently turning your attention inward, not to analyze, but to observe with curiosity, as though you are learning about yourself with compassion for the first time, noticing that fear often arises automatically, without permission, because it was never created by choice. The brain learns through association, linking sensations, environments, sounds, smells, and feelings together. And at some point, your nervous system connected dental settings with vulnerability, lack of control, or intense sensation. And once that association was formed, the body learned to respond quickly, not because danger was present, but because the brain believed it was protecting you. And as you recognize this, you may feel a subtle shift already, because understanding loosens the grip of shame, and shame is often what keeps fear alive. There is relief in realizing that your reactions are not a sign of weakness, but evidence of a nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do, trying to keep you safe. Now, as you breathe, imagine that each breath carries reassurance into the body, telling the deeper mind that it does not need to defend itself against understanding, that learning is safe here. You might begin to notice that dental fear is often strongest before anything even happens, because anticipation activates memory and imagination together, and the brain cannot easily tell the difference between a past experience, an imagined future, and the present moment, so the body reacts as though something threatening is happening now, even when you are simply thinking about it. Today, you are not trying to eliminate that response, but to recognize it for what it is, a false alarm created by learning, not by present danger. As this understanding settles in, your body may already feel a little more spacious, because fear loses intensity when it is no longer judged or fought. Now imagine that you are gently observing the nervous system itself, as though you are watching a sensitive, intelligent system that learned caution through experience. And instead of criticizing it, you acknowledge its effort, thanking it for trying to protect you, even if the strategy is outdated. This acknowledgement alone can soften the response, because the nervous system calms when it feels understood rather than pressured to stop. As your awareness deepens, notice how safety does not require certainty or control right now, because in this moment, nothing is being demanded of you, and the body can learn slowly and gently that relaxation does not equal danger. You may begin to sense that fear is not a permanent identity, not something you are, but something that happens, and what happens can change when conditions change. Imagine now that with each breath, your body is receiving the message that learning can occur without exposure, without force, simply through understanding and repetition. And that calm does not have to be earned through bravery. It can arise naturally when the nervous system no longer feels misunderstood. As the mind settles, visualize a soft protective boundary around your body, not a barrier, but a sense of personal space that belongs to you, reminding the subconscious that you have internal boundaries, internal choice, internal agency, even in situations where external control once felt limited. This sense of internal safety becomes the foundation for all future calm. Now gently bring to mind the idea of a dental environment, not vividly, not forcefully, but as a neutral concept, noticing that you can think about it right now while remaining safe, breathing, relaxed, and in control of your attention. And allow the subconscious to notice that nothing bad is happening simply because the thought exists. This is important learning for the nervous system because it begins to weaken the automatic link between thought and panic. If any sensations arise, you do not need to change them. Simply allow them to move through you, recognizing that sensations themselves are not dangerous, just signals passing through awareness. As you continue, imagine that the brain is updating its files, revising old conclusions formed long ago, learning that dental fear was never proof of weakness, just incomplete information. And now, with new understanding, the emotional brain can begin to relax its guard, because it is no longer operating alone in the dark. Feel how calming it is to know that fear can be learned, and therefore unlearned, not through force, but through patience, compassion, and repetition. You might notice now that your breathing has slowed on its own, that your muscles have softened without effort, and this becomes evidence for the subconscious that safety can be felt internally, not only when conditions are perfect. Let this sense of quiet assurance spread through the chest, the throat, the jaw, areas that often hold unspoken fear, and gently release any tension you find there, knowing that you are teaching the body that it no longer has to brace itself against understanding. As this session continues, allow yourself to absorb the idea that dental fear is not something you need to get rid of immediately, because true change begins when fear is allowed to exist without shame. And as shame dissolves, fear naturally loses its intensity. Now imagine the nervous system settling into a slower rhythm, like waves calming after a storm, not because the ocean was wrong, but because conditions changed. Feel the comfort in knowing that over the coming days, each session will build upon this foundation, and that today's work is simply about safety, awareness, and kindness toward yourself. Before concluding, gently affirm internally, without strain, that you are not weak, you are not broken, and you are not alone in this experience. And that with understanding, your body and mind can learn new responses at a pace that feels right. Allow these words to sink deeper than thought, into the subconscious where learning happens naturally. And as you prepare to return your attention outward, know that this calm awareness will continue subtly in the background, supporting you even after this session ends, because the journey of healing has already begun, quietly